of us are alone. We benefit from centuries of wisdom and scientific advances for promoting happiness, and yet we are burdened by anxiety and depression. Indeed, not only is the number of people with depression rising, but so is the average number of years that people report feeling depressed. Anxiety and burnout are also on the rise. We have the capacity to go all over the earth, to the depths of the oceans, and even into space, and yet those very means of exploration are depleting the sustainability of our home planet. Every year we are taking nearly double what the Earth is able to regenerate on a yearly basis. These trends are all related. When we live in a world where some have too much and many have too little, there is tremendous pressure to either rise to the top or sink to the bottom. And in such a world, we will feel anxious at our prospects, depressed at our situation, alienated from our fellow competitors, and unconcerned with how we damage the environment if doing so feels like the only way to stay alive. To get beyond the paradoxes caused by the pursuit of greatness, we have to understand where that pursuit itself comes from. I will consider various theories throughout this book. For example, the often exaggerated claim that we are all hierarchical and competitive by nature. But my basic argument is that greatness thinking, in fact, begins as a meaningful response to the fact that life is imperfect. Accidents, tragedies, and failures befall us all. Greatness responds by saying, "Don't worry, we can overcome this. Though the world as it is may be flawed, humans have the capacity to eventually remove the blemishes of our condition. To do so, we simply have to encourage the most talented among us, the great ones, to innovate and create and explore. They will push past the limits of our ecosystem and create a flourishing world for the rest of us. To incentivize them to do so, they should be given tremendous wealth and power. And in order to find out who these great ones are, we should have a fiercely competitive society where everyone is trying to prove why they are the greatest. To become great is to feel justified in being spared from suffering some real portion of life's calamities. Because you are improving life for everyone, whether by creating wealth, entertainment, or inventions, all of your rewards are justified. Seeking that sense of satisfaction and security beyond the flux of life is how I now interpret the origins of my youthful desires for being great that I share with so many other people. Desiring greatness thus makes a lot of sense, but it also creates the anxieties and paradoxes of the world we live in. Although there is a deep logic in our psyches and societies for the greatness worldview, we are not condemned to it. There is another way of seeing things that is full of potential today and that can bring us out of these frightening paradoxes. I call it the good enough life. I will also refer to it as a good enough life for all and the good enough world. Good enough here does not just mean doing the bare minimum to get by, although I do argue for more leisure and relaxation. But more than this, I use the words to register an entire world view dedicated to ensuring that all humans have both goodness, including decency, meaning, and dignity, and enoughness, including high-quality food, clothing, shelter, and medical care. Further, because humans also have environmental, emotional, and social needs, goodness and enoughness are always linked. Our lives cannot be good if we do not have enough to survive, and we cannot have enough if our lives are not also suffused with the goodness of our relations. Like greatness, the good enough worldview begins with a recognition that life is imperfect. Unlike greatness, however, it denies the claim that only a worthy elite can help us improve our conditions. By supporting only the pursuit of greatness, we are not in fact advancing as much as we could because we are suppressing the vital energies and capacities of the bulk of